Hi guys, we are jumping into what I feel is a really important chapter on China, and there's a wide variety of reasons for that, but one of those is that China currently, as we all know, is one of our major competitors in the world, and many would argue is our greatest competitor economically. It doesn't take us, any one of us, when we go to the store, we see the evidence of that when we see Chinese products that are for sale, and it's a challenge for us to compete with Chinese prices at the store, as their employees are paid much less than ours, and on top of that, the Chinese workforce is so much larger than that in the United States. It's something that is a tough thing for us to match economically. But we also, in this first section in this chapter, want to give you a chance to take a look at the history of China as well, because as you can see on your notes here, in the United States, we have a 242-year history approximately, and if we compare that to China, a 3,700-year history. Okay, that's a huge section there. Now, in world history, some of you have covered that history in ancient China. What we're going to have you do in a moment is just dig in a little bit to some of the dynasties, and we'll allow you to pick one here. But Chinese history is really dominated by emperors, dynasties, many different philosophies, many different religions over thousands of years. And I want you to think about today, when we think of dynasties, are there any dynasties that may exist today in the world? Are there any leaders who currently have power who maybe had a father before them that was in charge, or an uncle before them that was in charge, and we have a family line of power? I want you to do some research. A few of you may be able to name off a couple right off the bat, but be prepared in a future discussion to kind of bring those up in class. Do we have any dynasties today that exist? After you've done that, I want you to look on here, and your team at your table will be assigned this activity. You're going to choose from one dynasty. You've got a bunch of dynasties down here that you can pick from. So the first team that comes up and chooses a dynasty, let's say the Zhou dynasty, a group picks them, I'll cross it off the list. That's theirs. The next group that comes up, they'll get to pick from the ones that remain. Your job on there is very simple. You are going to make a presentation. You can design it any way that you want to. But within your presentation, you're going to need to correctly pronounce your dynasty's name. That's 5 points. You're going to identify how many years they were in power and what years they were in power in the course of history. What advances in technology or what accomplishments were made during that dynasty's reign. That'll be 10 points. You'll need to come up with a minimum of 4 additional facts or figures to be able to share in your presentation about your dynasty. 12 points, so that's 3 points for each one. Include any pictures if possible to help to show us any accomplishments. Make sure you'll cite your resources at the end, and then when you are done, you will be able to present this to me. You can share this with me as a recording, much like the one that I'm doing right now, and I've got several iPads in the room for any teams that wants to do that. You can present this live to me. There's a wide variety of ways that you can share this. I'll be pretty flexible on how you want to present, and I will have the right, if I want to adjust, have someone present to me in a little bit different way. The key is that you can show me the information. You just need to communicate with me on what would work best for you to present this. When you are done with this, you'll let me know, and then we'll be able to get the presentation going. This activity is worth 50 total points. You see your rubric right here, and this will take a little bit of time, but once your teammates are ready, you'll be able to get started on that. And then one final thing, when you guys are wrapped up with that, get on YouTube sometime, check out the Dynasty song or the Dynastic song. Most of it will be called the Dynasty song on YouTube, which just kind of goes through a couple of different tunes that may help with the pronunciation of all of these ancient dynasties of China. Thanks a lot.